close the gap as they head downhill towards turn number 1 by braking later than von Skelterma, potentially. As we look at James Wayland, who's untroubled at the moment by Eric Chung, who is behind him in P6. So Larsen then with 2.2 seconds margin over Thomas Gosner. The best drives I've seen from Thomas Gosner across not only qualifying but in this race as well. James Wayland then heading down towards turn number 4, where rise uphill once again, taking some curb and then braking ahead of turn number 5, turns in for the right-hander at turn 5, and now heading towards turns 6 and 7, which are the chicanes here at the Hungaroring. Heavy braking, take plenty of curb going in and take plenty of curb coming out. Interestingly, that's one of the places where track limits has been something of an issue for some of the drivers. So there's Prenot. Now, where is von Skelterma in all of this? Ah, there he is. So Prenot's still not quite close enough to von Skelterma to really have a go at trying to overtake, but closer to Eric Chung now than he has been for a couple of laps is Christoph Herney. So Herney P7, Chung P6. 5 3/4 minutes left. And Herney now, it's off the back of this turn 13 where you start preparing for an overtake going into turn 1, would you believe? So Chung hugs the inside of turn 14. Herney is on the outside of turn 14 quicker, which should give him additional momentum going in towards turn number 1. And this is where Eric Chung could fall prey to Christoph Herney, who dives to the inside now. Now, he may carry too much speed and Eric Chung will get underneath him once again. Indeed he does. That was very, very clever driving by Eric Chung, who could see what was coming there, but knew that Herney would be carrying too much speed into turn 1, so he just braked sensibly, turned in, and knew that he would get the place back, and that's exactly what he did. I have to say, Eric Chung is a cool, calm, and collected driver under normal circumstances, and that's just proving the point as we watch Johnny Lawson in super slow-mo there, taking the curbs in and out of the turns 6 and 7 chicane. So Lawson with 2.5 minutes ahead. Here's the leader of the ladies' race, Tina Koch, then for Formula Racing, and it will be the first time on the podium for Tina. And now Herney is getting frustrated behind Eric Chung and he's trying to find a way past anywhere, which could be his undoing, to be honest. This Hungaroring circuit is quite technical and it's quite difficult to overtake. And Eric Chung, metaphorically, just needs to stick his elbows out a little bit and deny Christoph Herney, which will make him ever more frustrated. Herney now to the inside of Eric Chung. Well, to be fair, again, Eric Chung just driving with his head and realizing that, come on then, have a go, but you're going to be denied. Johnny Lawson crosses the timing line and heads downhill. So too does Eric Chung, and Eric Prenot has got past von Skelterma. Or has he? Yes, he has. So Eric Prenot then moves up to P3. Von Skelterma, oh, back to P4. There was a little bit of contact between the two of them. So Eric Prenot then has got past von Skelterma, but von Skelterma is chasing down here. And von Skelterma just takes a look to the inside. And von Skelterma far from happy. And now that Eric has got past, he does appear to be quicker than von Skelterma. There you can see the gap of maybe 6 or 7 car lengths between Eric Prenot and von Skelterma. To see a replay of the overtake, which we think was on the start-finish straight. We were looking uphill at the cars, and it looked like Prenot was ahead, and I was right, he was. So in the last sector, Christoph Herney lost some 20 seconds. So must have gone around potentially. he's really been pushing very hard. But means that Rick Lovett is the one that's chasing down Eric Chung now. I think, to be fair, Christoph Herney was pushing so hard on Eric Chung, and Eric Chung was just driving very sensibly and cleverly, and just allowing Christoph Herney actually to get in all sorts of a muddle. And that's been reinforced by virtue of the fact he's lost a place, lost 2 places, and lost all that time as well. So Johnny Lawson, who I think has listened to his race engineer every single step of the way and has just controlled the margin back to Thomas Gosner. It's been a good drive, good solid drive from Thomas Gosner, to be honest. Now, what can Eric Prenot do over the minute and a half that remains? Well, he ain't going to be able to reel in 7.5 seconds, is he? Let's be truthful. Manuela Gosner with her fingers crossed then, and Christian Hobone right at the back of that picture, as I mentioned. Good to see Christian back in the paddock once again. So there is Thomas Gosner driving his son David's car, and potentially heading towards a P2 finish here, which I think will be one of the best finishes I've seen from Thomas Gosner. So Larsen, Gosner, Prenot, Skeltermar, Wayland, Chung, Lovett, Dusan Palkra, Christoph Herney, Tommy Lindroth, rounding out the top 10 at the moment. So, as the cars cross the timing line, close as to whether this... Well, see the braking there into the turn from Thomas Gosner, who has been untroubled, really, in P2. Fairness, Johnny Lawson has really managed the gap. Here comes the battle for P11 between Henrik Kamstrup and Tina Koch. Tina Koch will be on the podium, all barring disasters, for the Ladies' Cup win, by virtue of the fact she's the only lady out there. And we're on to the final lap. And Johnny Lawson then, P1, Thomas Gosner P2, Eric Prenot P3. Chasing down Tina Koch is Henrik Kamstrup then. As I mentioned, it is the battle for P11. Tina new into the Ferrari Challenge this year and is very welcome as we pick up our race leader on the final lap then. Another good drive from Johnny Lawson. Been a supreme drive from Thomas Gosner, who's chased him down, albeit always having a margin of between 2 and 2.5 seconds always. Johnny Lawson has never looked particularly troubled, truthfully. Manuela Gosner crossing her fingers. Of course, she wants a great result for Dad Thomas. There was a conversation with him yesterday, and really likeable family, it has to be said. And there's Lawson then for Formula Racing. Certainly like the rumble strips. Maybe on the brakes now because you're going downhill, which increases the speed of the car. And heads up towards turn 13. Just this and turn 14 to do. And this will be the second win in the book for season 2017 for Johnny Lawson, as he heads towards the checkered flag for Formula Racing. Then Johnny Lawson takes the win. And here comes a brilliant P2 finish for Thomas Gosner, who did a lot of hard work in qualifying. P3 should go the way of Eric Prenot. Indeed it does, ahead of von Skeltermar, who takes P4. James Wayland, good drive from him for P5. It should be Eric Chung that takes P6. Indeed he does, ahead of Rick Love at P7. Then it will be Dusan Palkra and Tommy Lindroth P8 and P9, ahead of Christoph Herney, who will end up at P10. And Tina Koch then will finish the race P11, assuming Hamstrup hasn't got past. Indeed not. So Tina Cock rounds turn 13 now. And it will be the first Ladies' Cup win for Tina. It'll be very, very good to see her on the podium. Heading towards the checkered flag now. Winner of the ladies' race.